The small habits you form today will create the results you see tomorrow. James Clear. Once, there was a young man named John who was having a hard time building good habits. He wanted to be better at things, like getting things done, being healthier, and feeling happier, but he needed help sticking to new routines. One day, John read about a bamboo plant that grows really fast, but takes 4 years to grow strong roots. During those years, you could only see a small shoot above the ground. This made John think about how building good habits resembles growing a bamboo plant. It takes time and work to make a strong base, but once you do, the results can be amazing. John decided to start small. He committed to working out for 20 minutes every day and reading 1 book each month. Initially, it was hard to keep up with his new habits, but he kept going. After a few weeks, John started noticing changes. He felt more energetic, slept better, and felt more accomplished. He also found that he was enjoying his new habits. With time, John added more good habits to his routine. He began eating healthier, meditating often, and spending more time with his loved ones. He also began reaching his goals more quickly. Today's book summary is about the concept of making significant changes in our lives by adjusting our small habits. Today, we will learn about Tiny Habits by B.J.FOGG. B.J.FOGG's Tiny Habits method results from 20 years of research and his experience coaching over 40,000 people about habits. To understand the book easily, we have divided this video into 5 chapters. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, the recommendation is to subscribe and be a part of their mission. So let's start. Chapter 1. Elements of behavior. A behavior happens when motivation, ability, and a trigger come together. This is known as the Fogg behavior model. It applies to all behaviors, including the habits we try to change for the better. To stop a behavior you don't want, you can remove the trigger. For instance, if you're trying to stop watching TV, make it harder to access, like by unplugging it or moving it to another. The first step to changing behavior is creating a reminder or sign. If that doesn't work, focus on making the behavior easier. Motivation can help, but in the long run, the first 2 methods are more effective. For instance, if you ask your daughter to bring home a poster and she forgets, instead of getting upset, try giving her a reminder for the next day. This approach is more effective than scolding or punishing. By employing reminders and making behaviors easier, it becomes simpler to achieve the desired change without solely relying on motivation. Chapter 2. 3 ways to make behavior. Easier make behavior easier through 3 key methods: increasing skills by learning and repeating tasks, arranging suitable tools and resources, and starting with small behaviors to build habits. Examples include learning about cleanliness to form tidiness habits, using kitchen tools to ease cooking, and developing a habit by starting with a small, manageable step, like turning on a stove burner, and gradually progressing to more complex tasks. These strategies highlight how enhancing skills, having the necessary tools, and starting with small actions are effective approaches to making habits easier and more sustainable. Chapter 3. Identify your anchors. Anchors are behaviors before or after which you can form a new habit. Emphasizing the importance of routine, it suggests finding consistent actions within your day to anchor new habits, preferably in the morning when routines are more fixed. The chapter encourages identifying various anchors throughout the day and associating small behaviors related to desired habits with these anchors to establish a new pattern effectively. Examples include connecting habits with routine actions, like waking up, making the bed, or having a cup of coffee. These regular actions trigger new behaviors, thus creating a structured pattern to form new habits. Chapter 4. Emotions. create. Habits. There is a direct relationship between how you feel when you perform a behavior and your likelihood of repeating that behavior in the future. For a long time, people have believed in the old myth that repeating things creates habits. But while doing so, remember that this is just recycling old thoughts. If you haven't done anything different, how can the results differ? It challenges the idea that mere repetition forms habits, emphasizing the need for a change in actions to see different results. Comparisons are drawn to apps like Instagram and Snapchat, showcasing how altering photos through filters triggers positive feelings, influencing the urge to use these apps more. It distinguishes between decisions and habits, highlighting how habits, whether good or bad, are deeply tied to our emotion. Chapter 5. Use celebration to build habits. Celebration plays a vital role in reinforcing new habits, instilling positivity, and creating an emotional connection with your habits. Celebrating is universally accessible and guides us in being kind to ourselves. However, it's important to differentiate habit-related celebrations from other forms of celebration to maintain their effectiveness. For instance, when you land your dream job, experience a winning moment, or have an accomplishment, your natural reactions to these situations reveal how you instinctively celebrate. Removing cues related to old, unwanted habits and establishing reminders for new behaviors are fundamental steps. That all for today. If you found the summary of the Tiny Habits book helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and it helps us create more valuable content for everyone. Thank you, and stay tuned for more fantastic videos in the future.